Is dancing committing a crime? No. Is expressing yourself committing a crime? No. But if you do it in out of form or out of state manner, then in a sense, then that will be saying kind of irritating someone else or causing disturbance, which I wasn't, because there was no one in there. But at that point, when he approached me, I felt uncomfortable because he immediately reached for his hip, which I was uncertain if he was going to pull out a gun, a taser, or whatever it was.
Which again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it reminds a lot of people of a very disturbing case
a few times
in California at the Fruitvale, at the BART station with Oscar Grant. And that's very, very eerie, and just it's crazy that you even said, you know, when you took me there, you just gave me a flashback of that case of Oscar Grant, which is any officer reaching for his hip is absolutely something of concern to anyone.
That means he's moving with aggressiveness and not understanding. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, then you kind of I can't find the words to put it, but you just scramble the situation sometimes.
Absolutely.
And that makes someone else feel very uncomfortable, because if you're not approaching me with concern and care, then that means you obviously coming with the opposite.
It's obvious which way, right?
I was hoping to get concern and care, which I was tackled with force, as you can see. And at the same time, my hands was behind my back after he tased me. Now, as I'm telling him, you cannot detain me because of why I did not commit a crime, he goes and slams me aggressively and slams me on the side.
He trips you.
Trips me and slams me on the same side I just had surgery for last year, which was from a hit and run in Rochester, which he had no concern or understanding of what condition I was, and by him tasing me,
he didn't care.
He
didn't care.
I had 2 collapsed lungs, which that is a chest problem. I have asthma. He could have killed me. So my nerves is bad. You wouldn't be nervous or bad or feel uncomfortable when you have over 5 to 6 people being aggressive with you over something that you did not do?
Absolutely, because it wasn't that's important. I'm glad you pointed that out. You beat me to it. It wasn't just this RPD officer. It was everyone else I noticed just ganged up on you after he tripped you. Let me ask you something about that trip. Mike Mazzio, an individual who, let me educate some folks real quick, an individual who I have spent at least 20 years exposing, who my dad, Mario Vara, rest in peace, an activist here in Rochester in the 80s and 90s, thank you, my brother, exposed. Mike Mazzio used to be one of the dirtiest Rochester, New York cops. He was a member of the Hit Squad. The Hit Squad was stood for Highway Interdiction Team. It was basically what we nowadays refer to as jump out. He was a cop that would go ski mask in. He would leave black males, Latino males, butt naked in the cold in January, February, strip them, take their drugs, take their money. Brown, Saxon Street, West Side, Ghost Town. Everybody that's listening to this that remembers Mike Mazzio knows that nowadays this man is the police union, the Locust Club Police Union president of the RPD union. Okay, basically their union. He was on local media, okay? I'm not even going to shout out and say the channel. He was on a local corporate America-run mainstream news media channel, okay? And this man, Mike Mazzio, okay, had the audacity, the nerve, my brother, to not insinuate, not to imply, but to actually literally bluntly state verbatim, okay, that this officer actually used care and had your safety in his mind by the way that he brought you down. Mike Mazzio claims on the news here in Rochester that the way that this officer brought you down was done in a quote, and I quote, safe manner, quote unquote, to protect you. What I see in that video, and people that have kids know this, as kids, I don't care what anyone says, I tripped people as kids. We all did that thing where we tripped somebody. Tripping somebody, playing around, of course, thank God no one ever got hurt, but tripping somebody is one of the most careless, irresponsible, unsafe things you could do to somebody. Because when you trip somebody, especially an individual with his hands behind his back, you have taken away all possibility of this person controlling which way they're going to fall on their weight. That is dead weight, basically, that's falling without being able to control. So how do you feel, my brother, that in Rochester, New York, the head of the police union who oversees the cops and literally has the final word in their contracts and everything, okay? How do you feel that he actually had the audacity to say that, believe it or not, Brandon, this officer had your safety in mind?
Well, first, I'm just enraged, I'm disturbed, I'm just puzzled because of the aggressiveness that he gave me did not show any concern or care for my safety, you know, and by him grabbing me while my arms was behind my back and them grabbing me more than 2 to 3 people, that did not show care. Because if you had 2 to 3 people holding on me or grabbing me, why must I have to go to the ground when you already have me up in a position of an arrest, you know? So there was no reason for him to put or snatch me to the ground. I think it was more because he was aggravated, mad, and to the extreme of what the situation was and how he handled it. So all he can do is get a little more furious, and that's what happened. You see in the video.